Out of blasphemy for what it trains best. That's why I get to spill my thoughts. And how come it was able to change his mind about my race? What it mean? I'm not saying that love changed. I'm not saying that God changed. But preacher man, goddamn you. I'm not saying the sins change. I'm not saying his wages change. Man, goddamn you changed. I only sing of a song that you know, that I know, changed by the preacher man. I only sing of a song that we know, that God wrote, changed by the preacher man, 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 changed by the preacher man. Now listen, I'm not saying that love changed. I'm not saying that God changed. But preacher man, goddamn you changed. So that is Preacher Man. My second song is titled Hell is for the Rich. Major shout outs to Achele. Thank you for watching. Never lose yourself in a riddle. Not every answer is meant to make for you. War is for the rich, always stack in the middle. Rich make poor decisions, whilst the poor make the most of you. Hell don't exist in an empty space, for hell is way too busy to be feeding on webs. If all our acts became a final wage, then I got paid nothing for being my best. Say hell is for the rich, since they can pay for their sins. Hell is for the rich, pay attention, they never did. Hell is for the rich, since they can pay for their sins. Instead of losing hope, why not lose your sleep? Cause your dreams are stuck in your mind, trying to find its way home. You are a slave, not because you were bought. You are a slave because you sold yourself. The bread that you are fed today will be taxed in your wage when you get to hell. The bread that you are fed today will be taxed in your wage when you get to hell. Say hell is for the rich, since they can pay for their sins. Hell is for the rich, pay attention, they never did. Hell is for the rich, since they can pay for their sins. Thank you, Ghana. Good morning.
If you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV, on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks, and tune in to Class Act, only on Citi TV.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. Welcome
How are y'all
to Breakfast Daily.
Right here on Citi TV. I'm well. How are you, Quake?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a very good morning.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I hope everybody has enjoyed the week so far.
I think they have.
The weekend is almost here.
Almost. I'm geared up for it. I'm geared up for it. I'm ready. I'm already ready. Yeah. So wherever you're watching us from, it's Breakfast Daily, and you're welcome. This show is interactive, so kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to let us know what you're thinking. And the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly prefix that with
right. And do remember that we're live across Sub-Saharan Africa and beyond on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182.
Absolutely.
So shout outs to everyone who's watching us from around the continent. We love you and we welcome you to enjoy this morning with us. Yeah,
my name is David Kwekusichi.
And my name is Apiorkor, Seyiram, Ashong, Abbey.
Now, this show we start the show every morning with words of motivation, words of encouragement. Our quote of the day is up next. Well, the quote of the day today comes from Booker T. Washington, and he says, if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. Those are words to live by, for
Absolutely.
Sure.
And I mean, for anybody who doesn't know who Booker T. Washington was, he was a black activist. And in the 1920s, early 1900s in the U.S., he was one of the American rich men, even as a black man. And he lived by this philosophy and was pulling the black community along with him. And I'm saying this specifically because we're going through a shift in the world where there's a lot of conversation about race. And a lot of the time we talk about, even in Ghana and Africa, we talk about this pull him down syndrome or pull her down, where we feel that when people are rising, they either pull people down. I mean, if you're at the bottom, you're pulling someone who's rising down. Or if you're at the top, you're not doing your best to pull people along with you. So I believe that if you're moving in life, whatever the emotions are, however little you have, and I'm not just talking about financial strength, but in terms of your knowledge, your power, pull people along with you. That's how we all get together. And,
the amazing thing, Apiorkor, is that if you spend your energies trying to keep people down, you yourself are not going to go up.
Absolutely.
Because think about it, you're standing over someone, keeping them down. How are you going to climb?
Exactly.
So we can't spend our energies that way.
You can't.
Absolutely.
You can't.
But today's Thursday.
Yes, it is.
And 5 p.m. voting ends for Keyboard Idol.
That's right.
So if your contestant is in the competition, you better be vote. It's super, super important to be voting. And don't stop voting. Star 447 star 973 hash is the number. Vote as many times as you can. If you stop voting, you just think about it. Maybe one more vote would make a difference. Think about it. All right?
Very,
so you can't afford
important.
to stop voting.
Very important.
So keep voting.
And then there are other things happening right here on Citi TV. Remember, at 1 p.m. on 97.3 3 Citi FM, and at 3 p.m. right here on Citi TV, we have the Voters Diary. And the Voters Diary, of course, in the election season as we have now, is very important. You tune in, you get all the information, the history, the political history, the socioeconomic history that Ghana has experienced thus far, and then you vote sensibly based on the information you have. And we have Class Act.
Yes, Class Act 2 is on, and every Monday.
Yes, Monday to Friday.
It's 5:30 p.m.
That's right.
Okay, so you can't afford to miss that, especially for your kids, the young people who are watching. You need to watch and engage with
students, especially.
Yes,
it's a turbulent time with this pandemic, so let's make sure that you're
it's an opportunity to just keep yourself sharp.
Very important. And Best Brain is back on your screens. Citi TV's quiz competition for JHS students. So season 1 of Best Brains is back on your screen. 1 p.m. on Tuesdays, 3 p.m. on Saturdays. Don't miss it. Another opportunity to get some education for your kids while schools are not officially open for the most part. Well, this morning we're going to have an interesting conversation. We're going to be doing, every Thursday we try to get in touch with people of different professions and bring you a profession and get a bit deep into the conversation about what happens within that particular profession. This morning we're going to be having a discussion about fashion design. That's right. So we have a fashion designer, and before we even introduce her, the first time I met this lady, she I think she had finished fashion design school maybe about a year or a year and a half prior to the time I met her, and I was blown away by her creativity. We have a lot of people in this space who are doing amazing things with fashion, but there are also people who don't understand that it's not just creativity. There's passion, there's drive, and even when it comes to creativity, you constantly have to take it to the next level. And this young lady just blew my mind. The things she was doing, combining other arts with her work, every piece is a showstopper with her. So we have Apiorkor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic. It's good to have you back here.
Thank you.
Yeah, the last time you came, you were talking about a charity project that you were doing and all that. How did that go?
It went amazing.
Wow.
Yes, because we got a lot of home support, and the organizations we talked to, they were, they were there to support us 100%, and the kids were happy. That's the most important thing, and we're able to make our donations to them as well. So,
How does one transition from having an idea to design an outfit to actually having a fashion house, an entire fashion house? Take us through that.
That's actually very broad, but I'll try and scale it down for you.
So scale it down.
Yeah, so interestingly, for every fashion designer, first of all, you have to have the passion because it's a long road. And then we have something we call a design brief, actually. So it's a process from the idea development stage to the stage at which the outfit is actually complete. So what happens is that with every creative person, we are inspired by something, to even start the creating process. So whatever you pick as your inspiration, you have to create something we call a mood board in fashion design. That's where you put all your ideas into one space, so that you're always, when you look at it, you're inspired to do something. And then you start to break down that idea, that mood board, into shapes and then lines and space, being guided by what we call principles and elements of design. That's what helps us in the process. So you have to do all of that, and then you have to start putting those elements and designs in together to be able to start creating form to the point at which, you start to see your design coming into life.
But at this point, have you started sewing anything yet?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
No, in
the process.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
At that point, it's just you have to do a lot of research.
Okay.
Yes, you have to do a lot of research and a lot of experimentation. Yeah, that's the point at where you have to do all the groundwork. You have to get your color scheme, your pattern pieces ready. Then you have to do your fitting, like your toil, your drapings of the designs you want to do before you actually start doing the actual design.
It's a whole process.
It's a whole process.
It's a whole process. But so a lot of the time when we think of fashion designing, people think, okay, you have some fabric, some material, get to, I saw this style, let me just cut, and then if I have some patterns, maybe cover the patterns, and then we call it a day, we have a dress. But from what you're saying, it's an extremely detailed, creative process.
Exactly.
I find that very interesting.
Yes, and it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. You can't do it part-time. It's full-time. Yes.
I see. So, talk us through that, the initial stages where you started, and what was it that made you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend the rest of my career, my years, doing this? What was that for you?
Yeah, so my parents, when I was growing up, my parents were very supportive of me because I knew I used to draw.
Okay.
My other siblings, they were into the science, reading, but I was always drawing. So my dad told me, I know you're going to do business and you're going to do something that has to do with designing somehow. So I just got motivated by that, and then, I mean, like, it just manifested in my studies because I did visual arts in secondary school.
Okay.
I went into KNUST. I majored in textiles. That's where I had my degree.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Because my parents supported me. They did.
support.
And then after I was done, I told them that I want to, you know, push on. I want to get more practical, you know, experience. And then so I enrolled in another school, Rios Originate, and that was where it was just a blast for me. That was the point at which I knew that was what I wanted to do. Yes, that was the point for me.
So you've actually gone through the entire process of becoming a designer. That's another thing, because again, a lot of people feel that anything creative, you don't have to go to school. If you have talent, then you go ahead and do it. That's true. What people think.
Yes, a lot of people think
you know, and I want people to, one of the things that excited me when our producer said, you know, let's do a fashion designer today, was the fact that we're talking about fashion design as a profession. Because when we think about professions, we don't think about things like this.
No, we don't add fashion design.
As a nation.
It's a passion.
No, it's a passion.
And you just do
and
it on
that's
the
it.
side.
It can be a side gig. You go to school, you do, and then if you want, then you add the fashion. So, you did visual arts in secondary school, and I'm saying this especially for our viewers who have children who want to take this path or who would like to get onto this path themselves. So you did visual arts in secondary school.
I did.
Then you did textiles at the university, and then you went on to fashion school, which was more of the practical aspect of it.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
And how, so again, I mean, clearly you said when you were younger, you had the talent, you were sketching, you were drawing, your parents picked up on that. But how has actually learning the craft in a structured environment influenced your work?
So, you know, when I was at Rios, it was, there was a bit of competition because everybody wanted to bring out the best designs. And for me, I've always wanted to be different. Because when I'm with my colleagues and I see what they're doing, and then I don't fall into that same space, you know, so it just made me want to learn more about what was going on in the outside world. So I just got a lot of experience from what was going on outside in terms of, so, you know, I didn't limit myself to just fashion, because I was learning metal art, I was learning ceramics. There were so many things I was learning, you know, so that I could just bring all of that energy into my fashion. That's how come sometimes you see my designs and they are like, you know, some people don't understand where I get my concepts from, but that's the thing. You have to learn, like, outside the box. You have to step outside the box.
So let's talk about some of the things the different aspects of fashion, because it's not every fashion designer who even wants to focus on, let's say, business or corporate wear. It's not every designer who wants to do bridal wear. How do you determine where you want to go and what you want to do with your craft?
Yeah, so it's actually a personal journey, because I remember when I was in Rios, when I was doing my practicals, that was when it dawned on me, because I always told my instructor that I love white. I want to do white inspired clothes, you know, but as to which area I wanted to, it wasn't specific.
We have some of your pieces on the screen.
Oh, actually. Thank you. That's amazing. So it started from there, and then my big sister, fortunately for me, she was getting married, and she said, Tina, I want you to do my gown for me. And I told her I don't have the experience. She said, no, you have to do it. And then I did it, and then it just became like that. Then I realized, okay, the white pieces, you know, that actually maybe was directing the path of a bridal, you know, stuff. And I love detailing. And bridal stuff is about detailing.
Yeah.
Yes. So I just found myself in that niche, and I think that's where I want to be. I'm very comfortable.
Yeah. And I know you do a lot of pieces for concept photo shoots, just creative shoots.
Yes.
You know, and it's interesting. I mean, so I've had a personal experience with her, in fact, several. And when you tell her, okay, you know, I'm going to this place, or I have this photo shoot, I need this. She is not going to say, oh, bring money. She takes it as a project for a portfolio. It's so amazing. And like creatives meeting creatives. But I think you have some of your concept pieces on the screen as well.
Yes. Yes.
So this is, I'm guessing, Egyptian inspired.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I was paying homage to our queens in Africa.
Our Nefertitis, our Santois.
Exactly. I
Amazing
just had them.
concept.
Beautiful
And again,
stuff,
there's white.
It's white, exactly. It's white.
Ooh. Love is that a whole headpiece?
Yeah, it's a whole headpiece.
So you built the headpiece?
Yeah, I did.
What did you use to do it?
Mostly I work a lot with paper.
Okay.
The different types of paper on the market. So depending on what the kind of effect I want to achieve, I know the kind of paper to
So
go
you
for.
don't just limit yourself to the fabric that we would think
At all.
you use for clothes. You use
At
paper.
all. I do metal
Oh, look at the
stuff
balloons.
too.
Is that a dress made out of balloons?
Yeah, it's a dress made out of balloons.
So what was happening here? Somebody wanted this concept?
She just told me it's my birthday.
Okay.
So I want something, you know, interesting and bubbly. And I thought, okay, instead of the usual balloon decorations, let's use it to make a dress.
You be the decoration.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really cool.
Okay.
That's really
So
cool.
talk to us about the business side of things, because at the end of the day,
Yes.
to be able to grow from being the individual person
Yes.
as a fashion designer with the ideas and all of that, and then to go and have a fashion house, you need to be able to have the finances to scale up and all of those things. Talk to us about how that journey has been.
For me,
Yes.
because I had that support from home, it was quite easy for me because, okay, not quite easy. Let me just say, you know, because I remember after my graduation collection I did, I was contacted by a photographer, a very good photographer in Ghana. He said, I really like your stuff. Why don't you come to the studio? Let's shoot the concept well instead of it being on a runway. And then that was it for me. So he brought me on board and introduced me to other people who are also very influential in the industry.
Okay.
Yes, and then I started working with them, and eventually I started to grow, you know, and get the attention.
and all that,
Exactly. So one thing he told me was that if you are good, sometimes you don't need to spend. You can collaborate with people.
It's good advice.
Very good advice.
It's good advice, yeah.
Stellar advice. Yeah.
Exactly. So I usually tell my interns right now that just do your best.
Yeah.
And then you would have to spend at a point. But if your work is really good, people will contact you. They'll tell you, come, let's shoot. Come, I have a model, let's do this. But yet again, you know, that's the concept part of my work. But then when it comes to the bridal aspect, where I have to make money out of like that area, that part is difficult. It's very difficult because managing your finances, it was hard for me, but I got help.
Okay.
I got help. I spoke to people who were already in the industry, and then they told me if you can't do it on your own, get people who are already in the business and let them help you out.
Okay.
Yes. So that's also another very important advice. Like, don't put all the the work on you.
Collaborate.
Collaborate, and then have other people also come on board because it's very important.
And I think that's a general business principle.
I think so.
Partnerships, collaborations, and then you bring a little, I bring a little.
Don't try to do everything
no,
yourself.
because somebody may have machines, somebody may have
Exactly.
finances, somebody may have space, and or personnel, and then we all work together and we build something
Exactly.
beautiful.
And I think that one of the things that you kept saying is you went to talk to this person and you went to talk to that person. I think that one of the things that I learned, coming up doing my photography was I always wanted to talk to people.
Absolutely.
To say, what do you think?
Yeah.
What should I do?
Yeah.
Where should I go? You know, and I think that that's a brilliant thing. Talk to us about the importance of mentorship and seeking advice in terms of short-circuiting, or not short-circuiting, but rather shortening your journey, shortening the whole trip, because people have been there before.
Yeah. That's very true, because so many mistakes that I made, even though I had people up there who were, you know, helping me out in terms of direction and then the kind of decisions to make, I still made some mistakes, which have eventually shaped me.
You're allowed to.
Exactly, I'm allowed to. So I take it very, very highly, because right now I have 5 girls under me that I'm mentoring. And then
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. And they still want to come. But I have to cut it short, because I tell them that it's very important. I don't want them to also make the same mistakes, because I had that, you know, I had people to mentor me, so I would do it for you.
Yeah.
But I would try and help you to cut down on the, you know, mistakes that you could have made.
Absolutely.
In
Fantastic.
so it's just about...
Tina, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're fantastic. So some messages have come through from our viewers who are watching. Ifwa Intema says, her pieces are beautiful. Where is she located? So where are you located?
Wow. So I am in Osu on the Charles Street. And you can just type in Avonsige Fashion House on Google Maps.
Okay.
It will bring you straight to my atelier.
Somebody says, can you mentor me?
She should just stay in touch, because yes, when I sign off with those under me, I would discount it.
What are your social media handles so people can find you?
So on Instagram, it's Avonsige_. On Facebook, it's Avonsige, and on Twitter, it's Avonsige.
Super.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we've been speaking with Augustina Avonsige of the Avonsige Fashion.
Yeah, I never even knew her name was Augustina. I always hear Tina or Avonsige, so today is Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so up next, after the break, is our news review segment.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one, Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the 2nd floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethelog, experts in shipping logistics.
A message from Zuri in Westlands. Now, she says, my mom remarried when I was 8 years. She was always busy, never had time for me. And so I was happy when my stepdad started showing me some love and affection. Things were great till I became a teenager. He started acting funny towards me, like touching my boobs and other things. And when I told my mom about it, she told me that he's my dad and there's nothing wrong with it. He eventually defiled me at the age of 14. When I told my mom, she convinced me not to tell anyone, so I kept it to myself. It has really had an impact on me, and I'm still scared of dating anyone. I want to forgive my mom and move on, but it hurts a lot anytime I remember. Please help me.
How can a mother even still stay married to a person that does that?
Even as a biological father, it is so wrong to have a father touch the breast of the daughter.
I'm going to use this platform, okay, to reach out to parents and let parents know that when your daughters are talking to you, pay attention.
Sister Sisters, proudly brought to you by Vodafone Ghana. The future is exciting. Ready?
All right, welcome back, and it's time for us to get into the news review segment. Now today on this segment, the show is interactive as always. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly prefix that with +233. Now, my guests are already in studio. I'll be introducing them to you in just a little bit, but let me first of all go through the headlines of the dailies that we have here. We'll do some online stories as well, and then we'll come back. I'll introduce them to you, and we'll get into the conversation. We're going to be talking today 2020 elections, obviously, and then the financial sector cleanup as well will be up for discussion. So on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have cocoa farmers to earn 21% more for produce. Okada debate, government to provide vehicle owning option. Dr. Baumia. COVID-19 impacts economy negatively. NBSSI launches business support program. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, Ghana's cocoa risks EU market ban over forest reserves destruction in Galamsey. 25,000 MSMEs to receive financial support under COVID-19 Recovery Resilience Program. Training of professional dispatch riders better than legalizing Okada. Law against domestic workers abuse passed. On the front page of the Chronicle, Rawlings advises Mali coup makers, says Western powers have hung multi-party democracy around our necks. 98 courts, bungalows for 16 regions. Kidney patients struggle to write BECE. On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, Rawlings warns Malian coup makers. As a different take on the earlier one. Guta exposed over secret meeting with NDC. Police hunts pastor for allegedly defrauding businessman. Veep cut sought for first interchange in Western region. John Mahama is a hindrance to youth development. This is coming from CVM. On the front page of the Business Finder, 90 million Ghana cedis for 25,000 businesses to cushion micro, small, and medium enterprises. COVID-19, economy contracts 3.2% in second quarter, first in 37 years. Regularized startups to qualify for tax exemptions. Let's do some online stories. And on citynewsroom.com, government confused about legalization of Okada, says Ablakwa. Asset base of defunct microfinance firms, others, was short by 4 billion Ghana cedis. Wow. We have a safer alternative for Okada operators, MPP assures. Account of clients of defunct companies duly credited. This is from the CBG boss. Ex-staff of collapsed fund management firms appeal for salary arrears. And on citybusinessnews.com, Ghana's economy records first contraction in 37 years. Lands Commission to use auto maps to help address challenges associated with land acquisition. Citi stability backed by Ghana's diverse export base and other factors. This is from an economist. S&P ratings will not affect investor confidence, says Professor Korte. Customers of defunct microfinance firms, S&Ls, to receive full cash payment from September 16th. And on My Joy Online, government to implement National Unemployment Insurance Scheme soon, says Bafo Ewa. And on BBC.com, Trump contradicts health chief on masks and vaccine. So for more news, kindly visit citynewsroom.com. And for more business news, kindly visit citybusinessnews.com. All right, so the show is interactive, as I said earlier on. My name is David Kwekusechi. My guests are in studio. I have with me Fred Agbenyo, who is the Deputy Director of International Relations of the NDC. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, by His grace.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here.
Good to be
All
here.
right, my other guest is also seated, Richard Asante-Boy. He's the government spokesperson on infrastructure. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, my brother.
How are you?
By the grace, God has been good with us.
You're also welcome.
Thanks
It's good
for
to have you
welcome.
here. All right, so let's dive straight into the conversation this morning. And we're going to start discussing 2020 elections. A couple of stories there. Government says that they will not legalize risky Okadas. And then also the NDC says that the MPP are just implementing their policies. So let's get into those stories. Very interesting there. Government won't legalize risky Okadas. Riders to be leased vehicles instead, says Dr. Baumia. The story here says, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Baumia has said the New Patriotic Party will not succumb to pressure to make the commercial use of motorbikes, popularly known as Okada, as a legal means of commercial transport. Describing the operationalization of Okadas in the country as a risky business, unquote, Dr. Baumia announced government's proposed alternative to offer new cars to the operators on a lease basis in order for them to carry out their activities in a much safer manner. Speaking at the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Volkswagen and Black Ivy for the production of affordable vehicles and houses for Ghanaians, the Vice President indicated that the governing party is coming up with a much better option than the legalization of Okada, as promised by the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama. You don't want to finish graduate school and make a life from Okada riding. You have a better option. You can have a better option. We will give you a better option. So yes, we will not legalize the Okada business in Ghana. It may be a tough decision, but it is in the interest of Ghanaians. We are having discussions, but we will stick to our decision to provide a better alternative for the Okada riders. Let's give them an opportunity to buy safer vehicles through lease and pay over time. It is a better option than what the alternative is, he said. All right, let me start with you, Richard. The Vice President says that we're coming up with a much better option than the legalization of Okada. Okay, and he says that you don't want to finish graduate school and make a life from Okada riding. What are your comments on?
I think, thank you very much. And good morning to you, my brother Fred. It's been ages. He's missing in action. Understand that.
Are you missing?
I understand that when somebody became the communication officer of the party, he decided to throw some of those people under the bus, the old individuals who have been holding the fort for his party under the bus, and that included in the likes of Aliko Jacobs and the rest.
Is this your job? You are coming. You are starting with this morning.
It is obvious. It's obvious. I mean, but the point is, he's a great friend. He's a good man, and I think I wish him all the best in his Siberia. And I'm happy to see him coming from Siberia to come and see how he can also contribute in the nation building for exercise. I would want to say that the MPP is a political party that is always clear on issues and policies. We are clear in our minds what we want to do for the people of this country. We are clear in our minds the focus and how we ought to progress in terms of providing meaningful employment for our people, particularly the youth. The MPP is focused, and MPP will not be wavered into chasing certain things that obviously a lot of thinking has gone into in the past, and people thought that it was not feasible and it doesn't really help, and it compromises the lives of our youth. My brother, it would be exciting for people to look at this Okada discussion, also the Okada manifesto as put forward by the NDC. You look at it over the years, what has been the trend? What has been the conversation on this subject matter over the years? In 2012, the NDC, through the Ghana Medical Association and other stakeholders, did serious consultative work on this subject matter. It came to the fore that a lot more people were dying and people were being maimed, and a lot of accidents were being seen at the various hospitals, and a chunk of such were because of this Okada thing. In my life and the life of anybody, I'm not sure there's any Okada driving school or riding school in this country. But there's a driving school where people are taught how to drive. You do not know how people get onto this and how they are able to learn how to do this. So a lot more exercise and carnages were being seen on our roads. So the then president, Mr. Mahama, and his NDC took a policy decision and a stance on this subject and went further to Parliament to make it an illegal operation. So it was the NDC that for the first time in our history made it illegal for people to operate Okada. But you see, in this discussion, people are boxing a whole gamut of issues together. Let's take the pain to synthesize it and also separate those issues. We are talking about Okada as is in the context of Okada, what is known in Nigeria, and that has found its way into Ghanaian expression. And we are also talking about delivery motorbikes. They are not the same. So NDC should not mix the two. In that aspect, it's not illegal. The delivery system that is been happening and that has been happening over the period, it is not illegal. What the NDC made it illegal, according to our laws, was the operation of Okadas sitting at the back of a motorbike, most instances without helmets and all those things, and going for a fee. If you own a motorbike and you want to use it, it's not an illegal way. You can use it and go wherever you want to go. But the NDC stance and the thinking and the research they did around 2012 said that because of the accident and the other ramifications thereof, they thought it wise that it did not make sense to allow the operations of Okada to go on. And so a good number of them were arrested, prosecuted, some even were made to pay fines and others were jailed. When the NPP came to power, I'm not sure we've seen police hunting and arresting people who are using that. Because the focus of the government was to look at other means of creating jobs for the people. Now, the person who made it illegal turns around because of the lack of principle. And I tell you, in our history, Mr. Mahama will go down as the most unprincipled leader Ghanaians have ever gotten in our history. Because his flip-flops on issues. He's never been decisive on any national subject or discussions. And I'll give you a mirage of them, a good number of them. One, you remember his stance on teacher training and nursing training allowance. He said that it was something that was in our books and our statutes and it was being done by successive government. He got the opportunity of becoming a president and he said, no, that aspect ought to be cancelled. He cancelled it. And people were crying. The MPP spoke about it. Even people within NDC also spoke about it. And you know his comment, he would not restore it even if it would cost him his elections. You remember?
I do.
And that's a person who's asking for a comeback, who want to reach seat the Novdek in terms of presidential elections. That's an unprincipled stance of a leader. Today, what are his views on these matters? He said that, you know what, when I come, I'm not going to cancel it again.
Okay, Richard.
No, I'm coming. See, I'm trying to give you certain information to let you understand that this Okada thing is situated in a larger conversation that we ought to look at.
Fair enough, but I'm not deviating from there.
A last bit of it before you come in. On the same principles issue that I'm talking about, that this man has been unprincipled. But 4 years ago, he saw the operations of Okada to be a menace. And for that matter, he asked that Parliament make it illegal. Today, so no, people need jobs. So, but those times, were the people employed? Were they working?
Okay,
fair enough. The same vein, free education. When he got the opportunity as the president and was the president of the republic, when MPP were talking about free education, making sure that we educate and invest in the Ghanaian, what was his stance? He said that it is undoable and it's unthinkable and it's a flimsy way of thinking to conceive the thought of wanting to provide free education to the people. And it's not achievable. It doesn't make sense. Now he comes back and says, I believe in free education. When I come, I'm coming to continue. But I'll review it. That's the leader we are talking about.
I need to read something for you to respond to. Okay, so you made a certain categorical statements. You're saying that, yes, when you came into office, this thing had already been made illegal. And as far as you're concerned, you're looking at providing jobs for the people. And so that's why we don't necessarily see police going around arresting and all of those things, but you're looking for opportunities for the young people.
Let me also put something in context. See, when I say the police, they are not arresting
I'm not even going about that.
Because they are car drivers, riders, but some people could be arrested because they are not having helmets.
True.
Or they are not having registered motorbikes and all those things.
There's no issue there. There's no issue there. Okay, so, but I wanted to draw your attention to something. In 2018, on the 7th of February, and then again in 2019, on the 29th of March, there are reports quoting the Deputy Minister of Transport in his conversation around the Okada discussion. So I'm going to quote something that he says here. He says, I have traveled across the 10 regions of the country. This is in 2018. And the 3 northern regions are where motorcycles are used the most.
And this is the fact.
And if I tell you the way they respect traffic regulations, you'll be amazed. If you are driving on the streets of the northern region, Upper East, Upper West, the traffic switches to red and all the motor riders stop. That is total respect for traffic regulations. But the riders in Accra do not do this. For me, I will not hesitate to support the regularization of the activities of Okada it is a conversation we need to engage in now to see how the operations can also be directed by the laws of the country. That's 2018. 2019 is he goes on to, again, he was on a sister station on a morning show,
the same, right?
And virtually saying the same things. And he's talking about the fact that Okada can generate revenue and create jobs and address unemployment challenges in the country. Why is the vice president now saying what he's saying? Because he's describing this as a risky business. Meanwhile, the person who has been appointed as deputy in charge of transportation is looking at it and saying that, look, it seems like this is something we can actually do.
I think they are not, let's not split us on this matter. Because
I don't think the vice president is saying that it's a risky business that we shouldn't even go into.
Those statements have been made, and I think the vice president will stick to that, and I think MPP will also look at it. My brother, what are the issues on this? The MPP, upon assumption of office, decided to look at all sectors and see how we can engage, and also see how we can create avenues and also provide other means of assisting the general populace, particularly the youth, in terms of job creation. But I say, whilst we're looking at it, we realize certain basic things.
Yeah.
That includes some of these risks associated with Okada. That's why I've told you that in our dealings, we are not saying that at the moment there are no Okada operators in Ghana. There are a lot of them. But when you go to other, some parts of the country, the northern region, some of the rural communities, because some of the areas, some of the roads are on more trouble with cars. So you virtually would have to fall on them. And they are operating, they are doing their own thing out there. When you go up north, you see more of such. There are certain areas that even...
So what are you saying? What are you saying?
There are certain areas that even pregnant women are literally carried on some of these things. And it's known. And nobody's pursuing those people. Now the point is that people are saying that the person, my point is that the person who made this illegal said today he's going to change his mind, he's going to make it legal.
That's your beef.
That's not the only thing. The person who said he made it illegal says he's changed his mind, he's going to make it legal. But the MPP stance is that we are not arresting these people, prosecuting people, we are not doing anything to these people. When you make it legal like you claim you want to do, what is going to change? Is it that they will be registered? Is it that you're going to set up...
But what's the point of having a law that says it's illegal and you're not arresting? How do you feel good about that? I mean, I don't understand.
No, you see, laws are made for humans. How they getting me?
Yes.
And as such, when you look at the contents of the law that the NDC promulgated, my understanding, and that's understanding the good number of Ghanaians, is that you have made it so.
Okay.
Now the issue, I think if you allow me.
No. I'm going to have to come back to you.
But you have to allow me to land.
I'll come back.
Because the way you are cutting it, you are not allowing me to even provide the answer to that.
You've had a fair.
Because that's a play that you threw your opinions in there, and you're not ready to allow me to sort of further.
Don't lose your train of thought.
That's okay.
Don't lose your train of thought.
That's okay. I'll allow my brother to come in.
Now I need to hear your perspective on this. Okay.
My brother, thank you very much, and let me say good morning to our church viewers, yourself and my brother Richard. I think that if we are talking about a president that is inconsistent, a president that lacks focus, a president that doesn't know where the vehicle is heading towards, you can't choose any other than the current president. And so I'm surprised that my brother will sit here and say that President Mahama flips and flops. What do we call public policy? Public policies are made when an issue comes up. And so today, something may not be relevant. Tomorrow, it becomes relevant. And so society must have a conversation around it and take a decision. And so the fact that yesterday I said this thing was wrong, or we shouldn't do this thing, it doesn't mean that if today that thing has become relevant, I should not talk about it. Then we are not human beings. Society are dynamic. Society is not static. We are not at one place. And so based on the exigencies of the moment, you take decisions and you implement, you formulate policies. That's how nations and societies are governed. And so I don't know the argument it's making. Listen, I sincerely believe that the MPP has lost touch with the reality on the ground. Dr. Bawumia Nana Akufo doesn't know what is happening in our country. And that is why they can describe Okada
in the way and the manner he did when he went to Takoradi to commission whichever program. If they really understand what is happening in this country, the transportation system in this country, and what the people of this country are going through, I'm sure you would have said that. People sit in planes and the planes crash and they die. Ships are sinking on waters. Vehicles are involved in accidents every day. Was it just 2 days ago we are told about 3 vehicles?
And this dawn as well.
Just this dawn. How many people did we lose in one accident? People sleep in their homes. They sleep, the water pours on the floor and they sleep and they get accidents. So accidents are part of human living in society. You go to farm, a tree falls on you and you die. Everything. What you do is to put mechanism in place to limit the accidents. You don't ban it. You don't stop it. You don't say it's not relevant. You don't, can you allow me, when you're talking, I sat and I kept quiet. You understand? As I said, in 2016, based on what was happening in the country, we thought that we couldn't allow these motor operators to operate as commercial activities. And so a law was formulated. Now we have gone around the whole country. And don't forget, you see, when we lost election in 2016, what we told the people of this country was that we were going to go around the whole country, engage with the stakeholders, find out from the ordinary Ghana what they want, what will benefit them. Now you said that people cannot go to the university and graduate and come right now, Okada. You see, again, I say you don't understand. If a graduate can come and work with NAPCO, and I know of the man to pay him 700 Ghana cedis, and you think that that graduate should shut his mouth, and somebody writes Okada, and I know of the man is able to save 3,000 Ghana cedis, you think your NAPCO is better than Okada rider?
Where from that analysis?
Can you allow me to talk, please? Go to the United States of America, you see graduates driving taxi. Go to the United Kingdom, you see graduates doing all manner of jobs. So there's nothing wrong with somebody finishing school. Why our friends, and I always cite this guy as an example. The Filippo, the guy who does the Filippo banquet all over town. It was my mate at Legon where I was coming for all together. Doesn't mean that the business is doing is not good. We are saying that we have engaged with our stakeholders, we've gone around the country, we know what Ghanaians are going through. If I had to travel from here to, maybe I'm going to a funeral, say in Likpebala in my constituency, or I'm going to Akpafu for a funeral, and then you get to work around 10 p.m. There is no vehicle that will take to any of these villages. A trotro will not do it, a taxi will not do it. Because they'll tell you if we go there, we can't get passengers back. The only way you can get to your village is through a motorbike. As a matter of fact, there are some communities in Ghana that a vehicle cannot access at all. A vehicle cannot access at all. Especially around this rainy season. Go and find out people are going through in the country. Okay. There are times you have invited me even to programs like this. I am driving all right. I am running late. There's so much traffic. Sometimes you have to park the car somewhere and jump on back of the motorbike.
Don't lose your train of thought. Well, we'll take a short break. I'll come back to you and then we'll have Richard come in.
That's right.
Okay. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
All right, welcome back from that break. The show is send us messages. We actually have a few messages. I'll jump into those in just a little bit. Yes, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Now, Fred Agbenyo was making a submission. I'll have him finish off, and then yes, go on.
Yeah, so my brother, I was just telling you that at times, even on my way to programs like this, when I'm running late and there's traffic, the only option available is to jump on a motorbike. You see, when we talk about Okada and the motor business, people are just limiting themselves to the riding of the motorbike. They are not looking at the other jobs that will be generated as a result of the motorbike. The mechanics will have to do the repairs. The organizers have to check the tires anytime they go bad. You are not thinking about these things. As you rightly said, people are using motorbikes for private, operations. I can buy a motorbike as my means of transportation. The Lord hasn't stopped me from doing that. We use motorbikes for courier services. Citi FM can decide to have a motorbike to be able to send letters around and to do all this. Nobody is stopping them from doing this. This is for commercial activities. NDCJ didn't say we will legalize Okada operations. We said we will train the people. We will bring regulations and we will make sure they comply with those regulations. That's what we should be thinking about. If you travel abroad, check most of their roads. What they are doing is that we have dedicated lanes for motorbikes and bicycles. So that is the thinking of NDC, that in the urban areas, what do we do? All the roads that we have, can we get dedicated lanes so that you don't have to be competing with vehicles on the same lane? You need to think outside of the box. Don't be sleeping and just be talking because you don't understand the concept. And when somebody is doing an innovation, you have to be humble and learn, you are screaming all over the place. And flip-flop, you sit here and blame people that we are flip-flopping. In one way, your president says something about Okada, your vice president says another thing, your minister of finance, I will say something else, you also come and say something else, and you that turns back and accuse others of flipping and flopping. You don't understand what is happening. You are leading this country nowhere, and so you don't know what is happening in the country. We are saying that you have lost it. We have 3 months to elections. Pack your things and leave, and let us come and do Okada, so that you yourself, you see what Okada will do for the of this country. Do you know how many people are benefiting from Okada today? How do you expect them, this country, because of our, so people are benefiting from it. Please hold it. Keep quiet, my brother. If you cannot sit, you can go on and you come back. I beg you.
I just want to understand some of your points.
You see, because of our extended family system today, my brother, you alone working here at CFM, look at the number of people are banking on you. Engage some of these guys and they will tell you what they go to on a daily basis. So their mother is there banking on them, their fathers, their sisters, their siblings, their wives and their children. What do you expect them to do? And so to just make the conclusion that Okada is risky, people get injured through Okada, they involve in that, which form of transport doesn't have accidents in it? And so we are saying that we have engaged the people, we have done the survey, we think that is doable. What we are going to do when we take over office fully and implement this policy, you will notice that the way to operate in the urban areas will be different from the way to operate in the rural areas. We will put all these mechanisms in place. We are going to sit down with the police people. Every motorbike that passes by, and it's a commercial motorbike, Okada, they have different number plates, with the painting and everything. All these things have been discussed. We have a paper that we are talking about. And we've engaged with their leadership. So please, to come and sit here today because you are going for election, up until yesterday, Ghanaians didn't even know the position of MPP on this Okada issue. Because you hear the vice president in the north saying one thing, you hear the minister say another thing, you hear the president say something else. So yesterday they went to Cape Coast and now they said they're not going to legalize it. We say we are going to legalize it. The people who are riding on motorbike, we are going to make their work successful so that they can benefit from it. And as I said, we are not just targeting those who are riding. We are going to have, once the Okada system starts operating, we need to be able to import spare parts because they need to repair their motorbikes. But organizers will be working, fitting shops will be open around the place so that we make sure their motors are road wealthy. The type of motors that will benefit, everything that we need to do to make sure that that industry, that enterprise also succeeds and people benefit from it. We are going to do it. If you don't understand, you can keep quiet. Nobody is forcing you. But to come and just sit on radio and be running down, it's a dangerous enterprise, blah, blah, blah. Then Dr. Baumia should stop moving around. He should remain in the office. If he's afraid to die, he should not go and see his V8 and move. Because he is in a V8, the wife is in a V8, the family is in a V8, so they don't know what the ordinary Ghanaian is going through. You just alluded to the fact that in some villages, even pregnant women, sometimes, when it becomes necessary, they have no other means of transport than Okada. So those people, you want them to die in the village. Somebody is bitten by a snake in the village somewhere. There's no clinic very close to him. You want him to die, or that you carry him on the head like tomatoes and take to the hospital. Is that what you're proposing? And so what we want to do is something we believe that will benefit the people of this country, and we are going to put in place the necessary modalities so that doesn't affect anybody. If you don't understand the concept, just leave it at that and let's proceed.
Okay. A couple of messages coming through. Let me just quickly read those messages. Dr. Downblow, this is coming from our Facebook viewers. Dr. Downblow says the NPP implementing the NDC manifesto promises shows that the NPP is a wicked party which could have done all these to alleviate poverty from the people of Ghana but chose otherwise. The People's Manifesto is a workable document and not empty promises like that of the NPP. Hafiz, two things, says it's always sad and heartbreaking to see the NDC trying to deceive Ghanaians to find their way back to power. The NDC pretends as if GM just dropped from the sky and has never had the chance to rule this country before. We all know and are aware of the harm and backwardness GM has caused this country. Remember, the financial sector crisis were created by GM's incompetence and lack of pragmatic measures. All right, so please keep those messages coming in. And Richard.
No, before Richard comes in, I think that he made a few points that we can't set that 20 college allowances.
But come on, you've had
just a minute to speak about this issue. NDC, as a matter of fact, and that is the fact that available, we didn't cancel allowances. What we did was to replace allowances with students' loans, and that fact is available. And the evidence is that when that very academic year we took that decision, the intake even to teacher training colleges increased from 9,000 to 16,400. What would have happened to those additional students if that has not been done? Because the reality then was that you go to a college like College of Education, they have the opportunity and the space to take about 800 students. The government said because some allowance that you have to pay to them, take 500 students. 300 students who have passed, they've qualified, no fault of theirs, but because of an allowance, stay in the house. A visionary government comes to us, you know what, let's allow everybody to go. Instead of allowance, they are now a tertiary institution. Let them go and assess a loan. Because before they were taking certificate awarding institutions, now they are diploma awarding institutions. So their colleagues in Winneba, their colleagues in Cape Coast, we are saying that based on the work we did, at the time we came into office, we have only one oil field. Now we have about 3 of them. We have enough revenue sources. We think that the economy has got to a level where we can take care of these things and still continue to provide educational infrastructure, health infrastructure, road infrastructure. That's why we are saying that when we return into office, we are not going to replace it again. We allow the status quo to remain because we believe that the funding sources are there. If your government just appointing 125 ministers, NDC is saying that if we reduce that ministers by just 40, we are able to save about 63 billion Ghana cedis to this country annually. If you take just 200, you're able to reduce presidential salary by 200. We are saving so much money. So the flobligate expenditure that we are doing in the country are the things we want to cut down and save money and put them in sectors that will benefit the people of this country.
All right. Okay.
I think, my brother, NPP and NDC is like light and darkness.
Why?
And I think Ghanaians are oblivious of that fact, and I think Ghanaians will choose light. NPP is not only talking about the fact that we do not believe in trying to endanger the lives of the youth. We are also giving them a better ways of living. And that is where we talk about providing them vehicles that will be paid over a period. And that is why we invested and also engage hugely with these car manufacturing companies that are set up in this country, all in the name of letting them produce some of these small cars around to be given to the youth, those they call Okada riders. I would have been happier to see Mr. Seyiram Ketie's son or Mr. Mahamad's son becoming a Okada rider across the country and also driving as a means of employment. Then I would encourage my other siblings to also join that. But you see, that's a difficulty with the politicians. We know what is right. We know the dangers associated with this. Now you are talking about doing this. We said, you know what, we are going to provide this means. We are doing that with the tractor drivers. They are equally going to do that with ordinary youth, including salary workers, to provide them with cars.
Richard, I'm tempted to believe that
every person given the opportunity will prefer the option of going for that, because you see this portion of town that had these challenges during the NDC time that he was talking about, people not getting access to health and all those things. Now We are using deep light technology to provide snail venoms and other essential medicine across the country, into remote parts of the country, which they could not even think of and conceive that idea. During those times, instead of bringing ambulances that could help everybody and support the sick across the country, they brought about 30 truck cars and packed them without any help to the people. Now we have ambulances across the country. So the issue and
why do you think Okada became an attractive business?
If there are no job opportunities.
So you think it's just about employment?
Of course.
That's what it is.
Of course. I'm not sure anybody, if you give them a better means of living, will choose that.
Okay.
We've also engaged them, we've spoken to them. Remember that the transport minister said that he's done a lot of consultation. And the paperwork has been presented. Okay. We have the views of Ghana Medical Association. We have the views of other stakeholders. The transport views of even some of the Okada people that over 100 of them were spoken to.
Yeah.
And the question was, will you still stick to this if they have provided other means of living? And over 90 of them said, you know what, we'll choose this.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. They will choose the better means of living.
I think that one of the things that the whole conversation you're missing out is the fact that even though it's illegal, okay, both the patrons and the riders, okay, are engaging in this thing because of convenience.
Of course.
And the fact that, no, but you didn't say that. I asked you, and you said that it's about job opportunities.
Obviously, you do not expect me to talk about all the other points.
I asked you, I gave you opportunity to do that.
Yes.
And then my thing about, and please, this is just rhetorical. Dr. Baumia's suggestion that they'll make small cars available to the Okada riders and all that defeats the convenience conversation. Because if it was not for the sake of the Ghanaian needing convenience and being able to go quickly through traffic from point A to point B, how is a small car going to do that?
You see, let's understand this. All of us have stayed in other countries beyond the shores of this country. I'm not sure you see Okada riding in the US or the UK. They have traffic situation out there. How do they resolve it?
Even our rapid bus system, we are not able to implement it.
If you allow me,
is that the argument they are bringing? Let me talk about America. Rapid bus system, you can't even do it.
You can choose those areas and push them. Do you understand that there are systemic failures in other parts of our
if you are talking about America, but talk about the full system that is in place.
You cannot be competing with the West in any spheres of your life.
So why are you mentioning America?
Because I'm giving you the best examples. I was making other examples. I hope you're getting
let the BRT work in Accra. Then we'll see that that's about transport.
Other areas, you say no, stick to this. Now I'm making a point, and because you have a particular belief, I don't have a problem.
I don't really believe you. I don't believe in anything. I'm just saying that you have got to mention America.
That's a peer that, because that's the beauty of participatory democracy. That people have the right to air their views and sometimes even express their personal idiosyncrasies. And from where I sit, that's a peer that you're sharing that. That's okay. That's okay. But I do believe that as a young man growing up, I never thought of wanting to pursue living through that means because of the risk associated with it. He claims that because they are thinking that there are no jobs. And my point was that when Mr. Mama was making it illegal, there were no jobs. There were unemployment association all over. There were all kinds of demonstrations across the country.
30 seconds, please. Just wrap it up for me.
The time you gave me, you literally took
wrap it up for me.
Allow me.
30 seconds.
So if you are not even coming allow that, I would have made my point.
I hope you're getting me. You are talking about America and other things that
that's what I talked about it.
Continue.
Your mind is shaped towards a particular angle, and that's okay.
Are you done?
That's okay. I'm not done because you are interrupting it. I hope you're getting me, and you're being very opinionated. That is beautiful. But the point is that as MPP, we prefer other means of supporting the youth and the population. I hope you're getting me. And that's what the MPP is going to do. Okay. Because you are doing that by all these factories that we are building just for the people.
All right.
We are believing in education. That's why we're providing free education.
Rich,
that people can
Can I just, just 1 minute? You see, again, I understand. You kept on correcting, but he will not listen.
Which one is the correction?
That the Okada thing has nothing necessarily to do just with employment. If you reach it, jump, will you quiet? When you jump on Okada this morning, it is not because you don't have a car. It is not because there are no cars in town. I just started an example that if I'm going for a funeral in my constituency,
so
and I drive, can you allow me?
When Mr. Mahama
please, you know what? When you were talking, I kept quiet.
And that's
make it quiet. So I make my point. Okay. You understand? You can't say talk and
put that question to you that you made it illegal. So all these points that you are putting across, they did not exist when Mr. Mahama was making it illegal.
Okay, you because you don't understand the society's dynamics.
So you understood
because you don't understand.
Gentlemen,
really?
Please, Richard.
I don't want to.
Richard.
The way you try to say that how you be.
All right.
When you go on the program, Richard, you don't have anything to say. Let's don't want viewers to hear anything. Fred. When I kept quiet.
Fred.
For people to see that I don't know what you are talking about.
Fred, let me introduce the next topic, okay? And then if you want to go on that tangent, you can afterwards. So let's talk about the ex-staff of collapsed fund management firms appealing for the salary arrears. The coalition of ex-staff of fund management companies whose licenses were revoked is asking the government to come to their aid and get the salary arrears paid months after losing their jobs. Members of the group are also demanding immediate inclusion in bailout packages to also have their severance package paid to alleviate what they say is long suffering. The request from the workers, who number about 1,500, comes a day after the government announced the release of 3.56 billion Ghana cedis to settle the remaining depositor claims of the 347 defunct microfinance companies and the 23 savings and loans companies and finance houses. In a statement signed by the spokesperson of the group, Theo Pencil, the former staff recounted how the financial sector cleanup and its attendant challenges have made life extremely difficult for them. Life has become so unbearable in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic and its multiplying suffering effects on us as the ex-staff. Some of us have been ejected from our apartments due to unpaid rent. We cannot feed our families any longer, and we have been depending on family and friends, but we are at the end of the road. The suffering is too much, they lamented in the statement. I'll start with you, Fred.
Just to conclude on the motor issue, if your only reason for stopping Okada, then you must as well stop the use of motorbike in this country. Because today as we speak, people are using motorbikes for their own private activities. So if it's accidents you are afraid of, those people can get involved in accidents. People are using motorbike for courier services. So if it's accidents you are afraid of, then all those people too must stop using motorbike. Then we must also stop using vehicles. We must even stop flying in the air. I'm saying that your government, you are visionless, you are clueless, you don't know where this country has gotten to, you are not in touch with the reality on the ground. And that is why you can be talking about it the way you are talking about it. You are talking about unemployment. He just read and introduced the new topic we are going to discuss, the financial sector. Look at the number of unemployment you have created within 3 years. People went to the universities, did marketing, did all manner of banking courses, got well-paid job, taking care of their families. You came and just one move, you collapsed all these institutions, rendered them unemployed. People have died as a result of this. People's money is locked up in financial institutions. You sat back and watched them die. People cannot buy medication. A few weeks ago, I went to a construction site and I met a man I knew who used to work in one of the banks as a branch manager. I got there and I saw this man carrying concrete. I was like, for a moment, I was not too sure if he was the one I was seeing. I approached him and said, my brother, it's not easy. My wife and kids have gone back to the village. I'm putting up with a friend now. There's nothing to do. I need to survive. That is what you have created. And now you know you are going for elections, 3 months. This same government that gave them coupon that, oh, we don't have money to pay them. We'll give you 5 years period to be able to pay your lockup money. Just yesterday, the same government came and said that we are going to pay them money. They've gone to print money to go and pay the elections coming, and defeat is staring in their face. And you think Ghanaians are gullible. They will collect those monies today, and still go to the pool and go and vote against you. If you have the money to pay them, why have you sat by all this while? For people to go to what they are going through. 3 months to election, you know you are losing, so now you want to come and deceive them. Suddenly you have found money. Suddenly you have found money. Now you are paying them, you are creating the accounts. Because President John Mahama has promised in his manifesto that as soon as he takes over office, within 1 year, he's going to pay all those money. So suddenly you have found money, you are paying. You think Ghanaians are going to buy into these things? They should demand for their money. The president is paying now. The government is paying now. So if their salaries and arrears are outstanding, they are printing money. I'm just worried and sad for the inflation they're going to create from next year. But go for your money. Put pressure on them. Now they are losing. So whatever you demand from them, they'll do it for you. So that's the only advice I can give to them. Put pressure, demonstrate. This time around, they will not send the police to come and arrest you. A few months ago, when they thought that they were in charge, or gas, we do whatever we like with impunity. Even when these people go to demonstrate, they send the police to go and arrest them. They beat them up. Now, you are begging them to come and take their money. Tell them, tell their leadership that said they should demonstrate. They should go to the finance ministry. They will pay them their money. But when they take their money, they should still go and vote against them. Because this is just an election gimmick. They didn't mean it. They themselves came out and gave them 5 years coupons. Some of them had even taken their coupons somewhere to go and take other monies and give it now because they are going through a lot of difficulties. And because you know you are losing the election, you want to do this. Please pursue the government and let them pay your money.
Okay, Richard.
I think NDC and the financial sector, they do not understand it. The only thing I understand is creating havoc for people to inherit. And like we inherited, all the difficulties and the challenges at the financial sector, we inherited from the NDC.
Can you imagine?
When the NDC talk about paying people within the financial sector, then you ask yourself, during the era of Mr. Mahama and the NDC, over 80 microfinance institutions and other financial institutions collapsed. Did they do anything about that? Did they pay the workers who work for those companies? You remember in Bronga-Hafo region and some part of the northern, the DKM, God is love and their siblings.
80 collapse.
Yes, but you can search it. You can search it. And it's not difficult. I think the way you gave him the moment to articulate his opinions, and you
I want clarity. No, I want clarity.
If you allow me to finish, because you distort my train of thought.
Okay, you go ahead.
And it doesn't help. I'll be getting me.
Go ahead.
I just don't
understand. I need to clarity what you're saying.
Come on. There were a lot of things that, because remember that during the Okada argument, I was coming in most of it because there were questions I was expecting you to ask. You did not. When it gets to my turn, then you just want to disrupt my chain of thought, and it's not helpful. So like I'm saying, over 80 of such companies, nothing was done to these people, including depositors. They lost their monies. Homes were destroyed. Businesses were collapsed. People killed themselves. Churches were destroyed, all because of these things across the country. Nothing was done about it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Then today, Mr. Mahama is promising what? MPP has had a plan in terms of how to deal with this issue. And they talk about, oh, people have lost their jobs. We were confronted with a situation where we were having over 4 million depositors. Some included companies who could have collapsed if their monies have not been received. And looking at the jobs that will be lost as a result of it. But this government came in and took care of this situation, cleaned the system, and made sure that we have a formidable system. That for the first time in our history, that the central bank became the best central bank in the world. It's telling you that indeed something is being done proper.
Our central bank is the best central bank in the world.
Something is being done about it. Something is being done about it. The next point is that
listen.
You can search.
You keep saying that I'm interrupting you, but you're making statements like this. I can search where.
If I do not know, doesn't mean that it's not true.
Ghana Central Bank is the best bank in the world.
Ghana Central Bank emerged as the best central bank.
When?
Just 2019, 2020.
Jesus Christ.
I'm saying you can search. Okay. And we receive all kinds of accolades as a result.
We were awarded. Or what? What was this? How did we?
When you become the best central bank, what do you get? Is it not a group or an institution that will claim that you are?
Who claimed?
I hope you're getting
was the best
so all these things have been done. Beyond that,
you don't have a name. I want to know the institution that.
I've told you that search. You're holding a tablet. You should search.
Okay. All right. Continue.
If you do not, you don't believe in search. You coming in and all those things is not helping. It's not really helping. I'm telling you, it's not helping. Then you are coming in a president who lost an election in excess of a million votes. Today thinks that he has solutions to all the problems of this country. What were the measures taken by the NDC? When even as far back as 2015, 2016, lights were shown to the government in terms of the struggles and the difficulties going on. When people go to bank to just go and draw their own savings, they could not get access to that. All these things happen in this country, but nothing was done about it. Then somebody comes in, address the problem, and so you are copying from my manifesto. Really? Your manifesto was launched by a week or they're about to go. This money, they started paying it from yesterday. That was Wednesday. And you are saying that because it was in your manifesto, you think within a week, government could mobilize. Where was that money? If that government has that money to mobilize that money within that short period, then it will tell you that indeed it was easier governing the country and solving all the problems of this country. It tells you that you did not understand that sector. Beyond this, at every point in time, what the government has said was that its effort was to pay the workers of these financial sector staff. And those within the banking sector have gotten their pay and all the monuments that they were entitled to. Now we've gone to the microfinance and other people within that sector. And government says that their arrangement, their money is ready. I think I heard them talk about 160 million Ghana cedis thereabout. And these monies are ready. The difficulty that they had initially was that in terms of their leadership, the figures that they were bringing and also some of the challenges and documentation were a major issue. So steps were put in place to resolve that. So all these things, we individuals who are asking for their pay, government is going to pay them. Because remember, within 3 years, and 3.5 years, government has been able to raise 21 billion to resolve these difficulties. It tells you that it's a government that is serious, that understands the system, and that is ready to provide solutions.
All right, my brother. As for MPP, even when Richie's wife does not cook good food in the house, he will blame it on NDC. If his car is not starting in the morning, he will blame it on NDC. Then President Akufo-Addo gets up in the morning, is having cold, he will blame it on NDC.
Okay, we've run out of time.
Yes, if you know that you cannot govern, if you know the kitchen is too hot, exit and allow NDC to come and rescue the nation. It's as simple as that.
The governance system is incompetent.
Because you are blaming NDC for everything. You have been in power for 4 years and you are blaming NDC for everything. What type of government is this?
To my guest,
you have been in power for 4 years.
Richard Asante Abua is the government spokesman on infrastructure, and Fred Agbanyo is the Deputy Director of International Relations with the NDC. Thank you very much for watching this segment of the show. We're going to come back after this break. Don't go anywhere. The show continues.
The world is impossible without time. Time is endless motion. Make time work for you. Bet Planet. Time to bet.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
A message from Zuri in Westlands. Now, she says, my mom remarried when I was 8 years. She was always busy, never had time for me. And so I was happy when my stepdad started showing me some love and affection. Things were great till I became a teenager. He started acting funny towards me, like touching my boobs and other things. And when I told my mom about it, she told me that he's my dad and there's nothing wrong with it. He eventually defiled me at the age of 14. When I told my mom, she convinced me not to tell anyone, so I kept it to myself. It has really had an impact on me, and I'm still scared of dating anyone. I want to forgive my mom and move on, but it hurts a lot anytime I remember. Please help me.
How can a mother even still stay married to a person that does that?
Even as a biological father, it is so wrong to have a father touch the breast of the daughter.
I'm going to use this platform, okay, to reach out to parents and let parents know that when your daughters are talking to you, pay attention.
Sisters proudly brought to you by Vodafone Ghana. The future is exciting. Ready?
Trying to find lights in the darkest places, Charlie, if you hurt yourself. I she did a prayer for heaven, Charlie, see the way everybody serves. You held 3,000 friends who you call or text, Charlie, when you need some help. Telling you time will tell. I said life be beans, make it add your own cocoa. Make it add your own, I say life be beans. I say life be beans, and so make you add your own. Say this life be beans, and life be beans. Rich folks calling broke folks lazy just because we don't own things they do. Try and play it fair, never easy when you don't say life. Set the rules. One solid with a hustle every day. Try to rise with big got tools. You know, we say we fool. I say life be beans, make it add your own cocoa. Make it add your own. I say life be beans. I say life be beans, and so make you add your own. Say this life be beans, and say life be beans. I say life be beans, make it add your own cocoa. Make it add your own. Say this life be beans. I say life be beans, and so make you add your own. Say this life be beans. Say life be beans. See, no the matter whether go bell watch it. Change your kind, keep your eyes on the dodging. No the matter whether go bell watch it. Change your kind, keep your eyes on the dodging. No the matter whether go bell watch it. Change your kind, keep your eyes on the dodging. Cause this life be beans. So my second song is titled Bibi Abbey Fine, and is a straight dedication to a soldier that fell this morning, to Mr. Latte, the late Mr. Latte. She, we see cancer with Didi Wako for ba Coco. Ebusia so down waka a mobro. Fear Rajan down, no pay be a king kim. Ufobe yada, infinity team. Hard work pays. Mr. Ramu for where Uncle Ponko Shapolo, huh? The least idea, whatever the hustle be, queer muje. That train shit kind with I read quite boutique. Boamia, boamia, boamia. Boamia, boamia, and a name, yeah. Meche, meche, neche, neche. Ne bibi Abbey fine, never quits the hustle. Bibi Abbey fine, never quits the. Ne bibi Abbey fine, never quits the hustle. Bibi Abbey fine, never quits the hustle. Bibi Abbey fine, never quits the hustle. Bibi Abbey fine, never quits. Ne bibiora, bibiora. See, you the lose with me religion and government. So snotching yet, total mismanagement. Also told you this year could be your year. Now so I shall see any year and then in tears. Clients know they send enough. You know they chop bet. Baby mama stressing you. You know they sleep safe. Now you tell them boys in the hood say, hell but what will cow? You the mellow will regret, but time and time they say it takes time. So my party, try your best, make you try to relax. Cause you know if you carry this world, put your shoulder. Elbow boy, nini son you now, what makes this food get colder? Boy me up, 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 Meje, Never be a better fine, never quit the hustle. Be a better fine, never. Never be a better fine. Never be a better fine. Be a better fine. Never be a right. Be a right.
Now, the power is in your hands. To vote for your favorite contestant, dial the short code *447*973# and follow the prompts to vote for your contestant. Remember, voting starts from Saturday 7 p.m. to Thursday 5 p.m.
On Footprints this weekend, a man who has 34 years working experience in foreign service as a career diplomat, Ambassador D.K. Osei, walks us through his life.
Now, something happened under President Kufuor.
Right.
The removal of Haruna Iseku as party chairman.
Right.
How did that happen?
I was not involved in it.
But you saw.
I saw it.
You experienced.
I left it for the chief of staff to manage.
But what are your thoughts?
You see,
for a secretary to the president to perform efficiently, he should not get in the way of the politicians.
Okay.
And he should not be seen to be playing a political role, which is not his role. So Haruna was my friend from Buziat's time, because he used to visit, was my uncle, let me put this, J.H. Mensah, at home. So I saw him come and see the president. But as much as possible, when the president was having political meetings, I did not sit in.
Oh, okay.
I had too much work to do.
All right.
And he didn't
you're always busy.
Yeah, and he didn't expect me to follow political matters. And I consciously also stayed away.
What do you think about the current chief of staff?
Frema.
Yes.
Oh, Frema is family. So you want me
so
to...
you are not thinking about her?
You know, Frema and I, we are family. So.
Okay, so you can't...
No, but
run.
I mean, I worked with her in government. She was deputy minister.
No, as a chief of staff.
You know, I'm not close enough.
Close enough. Okay.
And I
okay,
consciously
that's fair.
stay away.
That's fair.
From,
that's
I don't want to, they're my friends who are in government. I don't want to give them a hard time.
No,
So
that's fair.
I stay away.
But they have some two deputies who are young boys. I don't know whether they had work experience. Yes, and Abu Jinapo.
That's the choice of the president.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just saying.
But you know, the job requires a lot of experience, a lot of sense of responsibility, and a sense of urgency, from which you cannot turn off for a second. I mean, those two jobs, Secretary President and Chief of Staff, are so crucial that you can make a president inefficient or unpopular or incompetent by the way you conduct yourself.
Join us on Footprints as Samuel Atamensa hosts Ambassador D.K. Osei, who shares his experience of working closely with various heads of state in Ghana. Footprints show this Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Citi TV. Citi TV, it's your world.
Footprints is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. My name is Apiorkor, Seyiram, Ashong, Abbey. And do stay in touch with us on social media across all platforms using the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Now, all morning, we've been hearing beautiful music from Obri Tete, and I'm going to have a conversation with him right now. Hello.
Hey.
I like your hair.
Thank you. And the name is Obri Tete.
Obri Tete?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
It means a lot to me.
So let's talk a little bit about your name.
Okay.
Is that your real name or is it your stage name or both?
No. Okay, so Obritete is the brand and the human. Okay. My father named me Nana Kwame Obritete, and I didn't want to live far from my art. Like, I wanted to marry my art and my identity, so I just said, yo, why not pick up your name? And it's also a cause to make my father proud, because he did music, but he was disappointed at one point. So I just picked up the name and said, I'll make you proud. Although he's late, so yeah.
And you are making him proud.
Yes.
And what's the music journey been like? So you describe yourself as an Afro soul and alternative artist.
Yeah.
How did you fall into this genre, or these two genres of music?
Okay, so
why not Afro beats or hip life or high life?
The funny thing is, I started off as a rapper.
Okay.
And then I picked up the guitar just 5 years ago when I went to University of Ghana.
You play it wonderfully well.
Thank you. When I went to Legon, I went to the School of Performing Arts, and then I picked up the guitar and started playing. So at that point, I got tired of writing very long poems. So I just decided to sing my poems instead. So then this became a tool, and then I become very emotional when I'm singing. So like that certain attraction to soul became, and because of the people I used to listen to, talk about the Nina Soul, Amy Winehouse, like you borrow these kind of inspirations
I pick up
from
those
them.
Vibes.
Yeah, so basically that is what inspires the Afro Soul Alte concept of my music.
Okay, so you describe yourself as a storyteller.
Yes.
And you also say that you write poetry, and that stands out for me because I'm a poet myself.
Oh,
right?
That's beautiful.
So lyrics, musical lyrics are poetry,
yes,
really.
Yes, yes.
So what kinds of things inspire your poetry and your lyrics, and how do you put that into your music?
The thing is, I borrow a lot from people. Say, you tell me a story and it hits me so hard, I will have to think about it so much and turn it into a story. So it's basically me borrowing from pain. Sorry, I borrow from pain.
Okay.
The concept of you telling me, sharing a piece of you with me, helps me put together that perfect picture.
Okay.
So yes, I really borrow from around me. Life be beans is a concept that is already out here. People say it all the time. I put it out on my status, my WhatsApp status. A friend hits me up and says, this is good for lyrics. And then the next morning it was a song. So I borrow from literally everything, but I usually borrow from pain. I don't know how to write the perfect song. My songs choose to question.
Okay.
They choose to put you in that thoughts. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, but why pain? Why not happiness? Why not glory? Why specifically pain?
Okay, so the thing is, I used to write very dark lyrics.
Okay.
Lyrics that didn't have an escape. They didn't have light. But one of my godmothers, told me that, yo, you have to celebrate the pain. So songs like Bibiabe, you're fine. Songs like Life Be Beans, like I'm not really trapping myself in that pain. All I'm saying is there's light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to move, the gradual process. The fact that you have to move from 1 to 2, from 2 to, you can't just jump from 1 to 100 overnight.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now you mentioned that you were in the School of Performing Arts at the University of Ghana.
Yes.
How has your training there influenced what you do?
Okay, so I switched from Accra Polytechnic to Legon School of Performing Arts because I wanted to better the artist that I was or I am. But
what were you studying at the Polytechnic?
Marketing.
Okay.
But when I got to School of Performing Arts, I learned a lot from the classroom. But a fun bit about it is I learned the most out of the classroom. My experience in that school is what has changed and informed the artist I am today. Because I used to be called Mullah. My concentration on music was just do what everybody is doing.
Okay.
But I met people who questioned what I really wanted to do, put me in that situation where I have learned and learned and learned, and it's taken me some time to introduce myself to the world as Obritete.
Okay.
So Obritete has been a process since 2015, and it was only launched this year.
A 5-year journey.
Yeah.
Now, when you were coming onto the set, you asked if you could carry your guitar,
Yes.
and you said you take your baby everywhere.
Everywhere with me.
Now, tell me about this guitar, because I see that you have a very strong connection to her. Is it a her or a he or him?
Yeah. I mean, I have to vibe with my instruments to create, you understand? So it's not the only guitar I have, but I choose to name them. This is Lebene, which in Ever means handle with care. It's just me saying, don't touch or break her, because she sings my songs too. I only bring up the poetry and she brings the melody. So we come together and then perform these kind of, or paint these kind of pictures. So I don't play with them at all. As much as my name goes with me, or I carry my name everywhere I go, my guitar goes with me too.
Okay, so clearly you play the guitar yourself and you sing, which is a very difficult skill to master. At what point in your music journey did you learn how to do that? Okay,
so I picked up the guitar in 2015. One thing I can say is I didn't learn a lot of my skills in the class, because the class had a lot of people in there, so there wasn't that room for the teacher having a one-on-one. I was a Takashi learner, because when I used to perform my poetry, I would need a pianist or a guitarist, and they'll brown me, they'll tell me, oh, they can't make it. So when I got there, I said, yo, I have to learn something. I have to learn something on my own. And then so it took me close to 2 years to start playing and singing at the same time.
Okay.
But I wrote my first song on the guitar in 2016. Yes.
And what was that process like? What kinds of things did you have to do, or what processes did you take yourself through to be basically able to combine the skills?
Sacrifice, because when I started, my fingertips, Jesus. I could have dropped it in my second week, but I said I need to learn how to play.
You're getting all the calluses and sores on your fingers.
Yes. Yeah. But then I had to give it's long days of rehearsals. It just became my everything, and I carry it everywhere because I have this notion that I don't know who will teach me something new. So I carry it, and somebody sees you and they're like, oh, my mentor guitar, they play something, and I learn something on the spot. You understand? So yeah, it's been me traveling with her, sacrificing a lot of time. Sometimes I wake up at dawn and I just want to play the guitar, not sing, just play. You understand? So, yeah.
So are all your pieces created to go with acoustic guitar music, or you work with other instruments, perform with other instruments?
Okay, so the acoustic gives me the soul feel of the song, but usually when you go to the production room, the producer wants to experiment with a new sound. So I can play a song here, it sounds very soulful, but when you listen to it online, it has an entire Afrobeat tempo kind of feel. So yeah, the guitar is my first inspiration to write because that is where my soul and my emotions are. But when I get to the production room, it can change. It can become a hip-hop song. But when I'm on stage, I'm giving you a soulful me.
Okay, so there's this bone of contention, the difference between a recording artist and a performance artist. From what you're telling me, I'm picking up that you're both.
Exactly.
And can you talk a little bit about the differences, the nuances for being both, and how you transition from one to the other at any point in time?
The truth is, there are artists whose records sound better than you see them perform. Such an artist, I feel, will be a recording artist. Some songs even exist that have names on them that are not from the artist. It's like another person records it, and then they come out and mime those kind of songs. But there are artists who are performing artists. The great Daddy Lumba is a very great performer.
Absolutely.
Kojo Antwi is a great performer. If Fela Kuti was alive, his performances were those performances.
And he's still a legend.
Yes, exactly. So these are the kind of people, because you see a Nina Simone performance and you'll be blown away and listen to the record and be like, no, I want to see the performance instead. You understand? So there are artists that have the recording side favoring them than the performance. But the new school creates a hybrid situation where we learn to record our sounds and also learn to perform. Because if I'm paid to perform, I want to give you more than your money's worth. So I want to give you the original piece that I really want to give.
Because nobody wants to pay to watch you perform when they can just listen to you online or on radio.
Because there are artists you see perform and you're like,
why did I waste my money?
Exactly, but you listen to their records and you're like, whoa. So yeah, I feel like that is where the strength in either being a great performer, which is on stage, or being in the studio recording, because a lot of credit is not given to producers, but they make the music.
Absolutely.
They make the music. You have artists sounding very terrible in performances, but on their records they're very good, but it's all credit to the producer. So yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the art of performance then. I mean, I like your hair. I mentioned that when you came.
Thank you.
Is it a part of your brand? Is it something that you feel adds to your appearance on a stage?
The truth is, I live beyond the music. I'm that guy who doesn't want to be forgotten. So, shall I sing a song today and I'm on the same stage with, say, 50 people? I want you to go back and say, that guy who sang the song, he had this curries in his hair, and I want that reference if you can't remember the song. Because as much as my song is good, I feel like the next song might make you forget. But I want you to remember the bean. The bean is like the most important for me, aside the stories I tell, because it's not just music I do. I write for stage, I write for screen, I act. So these all come together. But the truth is, I just don't want to be forgotten. So as much as I want to give you that audio vibe, that mental seduction, I want my physical appearance to also marry that kind of concept, so that they all come together to be the Obritete.
So let's talk a little bit about the cowries. Why not beats or strings, but why cowries?
The truth is, if I tell you, I have this connection or weird vibe with cowries. These are not original cowries anyway, but I love the concept of they used to be money. And my former name was Mula, which meant money. Exactly. So I had this concept that, yo, I can't fade away from the concept that I want to make money. I don't want to die broke sitting here. No. If I'm supposed to die tomorrow, I'll have to postpone it because I have to die rich, you understand? So yes, I just felt like it tells a story beyond the me trying to tell you part of it. So yeah, it's more like money on my mind.
I like that. And then I see some designs that I don't know if they're Adinkra symbols or what's happening there.
Okay, so with my hair is a special thing from my barber. When I say my barber, I have this weird loyalty to barbers. If I find out that you're good, big shout outs to you. So my barber is called Solash. When I go, I just ask him to do whatever he wants to do. So this was his inspiration. It had nothing to do with me. Because the last time I was here, it was last year. I had a bed on my head.
I like this. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Thank you.
So let's come back to the music, and then we can tie this up nicely. What are some of the themes that you write about? I mean, we spoke about pain in general, but what are some of the more specific things that? Earlier we heard something about Mr. Preacher Man, and what are some of the things that you're talking about?
Okay, so I have songs on women empowerment. It's titled Shepreneur, which is the woman entrepreneur.
Are you a feminist?
Number one.
Oh.
Yeah, so that, and then I have a song on environmental. I wrote it last year in connection with the SDG. It was on air pollution. Yes. So I wrote a song titled Mean to Me Brief, which is in connection.
I Can't Breathe.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Then I have a song on albino education. It's titled Stain of the Sunset.
Interesting.
So that song is also
there. So you're talking about the prejudice that albinos
Yes, exactly.
face.
Yes. Okay. I feel like they're very special people. They're like those sunsets that stay for a very long time. You have to just stare at them that much. So yeah, I have songs on a lot of things. Preacher Man has his own. Bibi Abbey Fine, Life Be Beans is talking about the daily hustle, the streets, the people who are not spoken about. Because my music is literally a voice to the people who can't move from house to house to say, this is what I'm going through.
Okay.
You understand? So I just pick or borrow from them and then put it out as music.
Okay. So do you take the pains to do research before you write your music sometimes? Or it's just things that you pick up along the line and then you're inspired to write about them?
The truth is, sometimes I'm even writing lyrics and I have to Google. The words come to me, so I have to Google and ask what those words are. So research is a very big part of my songs because I don't want to go off it. And the fun bit about me is after every song, I write about it because I'm that artist who is I'm a literary artist and a performing artist. So I can't move away from it. So I do state what kind of inspiration I gain from there. And if I can add a bit of fact to it, I'll do that. So yes, I try my best, my very best to research into it. I have poems or songs that I've not finished because I'm taking classes from my hometown, Obosumase.
You come from Obosumase?
From my Ochiame, the Ochiame from there. He's giving me lessons on these kind of cultural elements and how to employ them in the works I'm doing. So yes, I do invest a lot of time, energy, and thinking into the songs I do.
I like how seriously you take your craft, and thank you for sharing it with us this morning.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll hear from you one last time before the show ends.
Sure.
But my final question to you, where is Obritete going with his music? What should we expect in the next few months, the next few years?
Okay, so it's been barely a year we launched Obritete, and we're doing good. I have 2 songs out. try and check it out if you're watching us, if you're listening to us. It's titled Bibia Be Fine and Life Be Beings. These are my 2 major releases. Okay. This year I want to do 3 songs. And after these 3 songs, I titled or themed this year as an introductory year. Okay. And God being so good, I get these kind of platforms to sit with you here and discuss. The
music brought you here. If your music were not good, trust me, you wouldn't be sitting
exactly.
here.
So then,
just keep doing what you're doing.
So then it's more like an introductory year. And we have, when I say we, I'm working with the concept of family and friends. Okay. But they are very, very supportive in what I'm doing in terms of funding and stuff. But we are looking for a market or an avenue that can really package us. When I say us, I mean Obri Titi as a brand. Okay. And sell to the world. Because the idea is to sell the brand, make money, and also push it back into the people who inspire us to make this music.
Brilliant. I love it. I love you. I love your work. Congratulations, and keep doing what you're doing. Like I said,
thank you so much.
The music should speak for itself, and you're clearly allowing it to do that. Finally, where can we find you on social media? So
on Twitter, I am at Obri Titi Live.
Can you spell that for us?
OBIRITETELIVE. Thanks to Jack, I lost my old account. And on Facebook is Obri Titi. On Instagram it is Obri Titi, OBIRITETE. I mean, and you can find my music in all musical shops. Please stream my music. I'm very hungry. I want you to stream so I get money to record more songs and also eat. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to Citi TV for having me.
Oh, you're
I'm
very
very, very, very grateful. Grateful to every single person who watched, from Achele to Naya. And thank you for hosting me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking to Obri Titi. He's been giving us wonderful, conscious music all morning, and we've just had a chat with him. We'll hear from him a little later. Stay tuned, the show continues.
Is impossible without time. Time is endless motion. Make time work for you. Bet Planet. Time to bet.
Election 2020, Ghana makes a choice. Tracking and bringing reports of the presidential and parliamentary campaigns across the length and breadth of this nation.
Analyzing campaign activities and election data with our panelists on the Voters' Diary.
The Voters' Diary is the most factual, instructive, and balanced election 2020 analysis program on television.
The Voters' Diary, every weekday on Citi TV from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Stay informed on all the relevant issues on election 2020. Tune into the Voters' Diary, it's Ghana's choice.
Comprehensive news. The Citi Newsroom at 8 p.m. on Citi TV is your most engaging news bulletin on TV.
It's a very oh, that's too bad. The youth are still throwing stones. They are still throwing stones here into our direction. And can I come in? I want to come in. Okay.
Telling your stories better with correspondents covering every corner of the country.
Getting access to potable water is a daily struggle for residents of Kakichekopi and Balekopi communities in the Ada East district of the Greater Accra region.
Citi Newsroom at 8 p.m. Very fluent with issues that concern you.
Mr. Abbey, someone is in a bread. Told you, kind of 1 week. What do you say?
Is it unfair? What all this? What all this? We are dying! We are dying! We are dying for chocolate!
With Citi Newsroom, your community is now connected.
In this our community, all of us, we are very sorry of the school. If we went and see the children, they are so small. Even my grandchildren are there. My glass outside there. If they come out from the school, I have this.
Every day at 8 p.m., Citi Newsroom is live on Citi TV.
Welcome back. Still watching Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. And now we have the creative lifestyle segment. Today we're going to talk about something that a lot of people should be doing but probably don't do because they don't know how to do it or they don't understand the importance of it. And we're talking about facial cleansing. Now, especially if you're a woman, you should most likely be cleaning your face all the time, especially if you wear a lot of makeup. And the men too, they like to, look, I see a lot of men, their skin is dry. Look, shout outs to David, my co-host, because you know what, he takes care of his skin like nobody's business. So we have a couple of ladies here who are going to teach us how to cleanse your face the right way, taking all the right things into consideration when you're doing that. Good morning. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so Ifya,
hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about facial cleansing. And my very first question would be, is it important and why?
Okay, so it's really important to clean your face. The reason being that we have clogged pores. So doing facials, it helps take off the clogged pores. It helps take off the dead cells. Okay. So just like you're going for a pedicure, you have to do the same to your face because it takes off the dead cell. And then also eliminates acne, blemish, and then also helps take off the blackheads and then the whiteheads. Okay. So it's really important to do that and then for everyday life.
Okay, now what's the difference between a blackhead and a whitehead?
So the blackheads is, you see when the pores are clogged, yeah, you could see that it's appearing black. But when it's white, you could see those whitish things coming off. So that's the difference between the blackheads and then the whiteheads. Okay, and then the cleansing
takes care of that. Yes. Okay, so you have a model here. There's a gentleman here. Okay, so let's start with him. Okay. Are there any differences for facial cleansing when it comes to men and women?
There's a difference. The difference is there's no much difference. The only difference is with men, they tend to have more open pores than women. Okay. So, but the same procedure is applied to all. Okay. So we have the deep cleansing for people who have nothing on their face. They just want to take off the dead cells, and yeah, so that's the deep cleansing. Then we have acne treatment. So acne treatment is for people who are having acne. Then we have the acne scar or the blemish. Okay. And then we have the blackheads removal. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's the difference.
Okay. So what are we going to be doing with him? I know you have to assess his face.
Yeah, we
first,
have
right?
to. Yes. So.
Okay. We also hear about oily skin and dry skin. Does that also determine which facial?
That's the type of skin. So that's our skin types. You have the normal, the dry, and then the combination, and then the normal skin. Okay. So if you have a dry skin, you could see that the skin start flaking. Okay. Yes. So those are who have the dry skin, and then oily skin. You see them having oily skin all over their face,
like me. I have very oily skin.
So and then we have the combination. The combination is when your T-zones, your forehead, your nose, and then your cheek. Yes, you get oil. So that's the combination skin. Okay. So it doesn't really. You can have combination skin, but you have no acne or blemish. Okay. Yeah. So the skin doesn't tell about your facial that you want to do. The only thing that's important is the facial type. Okay. Either acne, blemish, or normal facial.
Okay. Okay, so looking at our gentleman here, what would you say we need to do for him?
So we need to do a blemish acne for him.
Okay.
Yeah, he has acne and then acne scars.
Okay.
So we treat that. So the acne and blemish treatment.
Okay.
So my colleague will take him through.
Okay. Okay. So how do we start? Like, what kinds of products are we looking at when we're doing the acne blemish?
So the product we use is Christine.
Okay.
It's a natural-based product because most people have sensitive skin. Okay. Yeah, so we very particular about product that we use for them. So this is Christine.
Okay.
Christine has a facial mild cleanser. So it's for all skin type.
Okay.
So for all skin types, so we first cleanse the face. After cleansing, we then steam the face. After steaming, we do some extraction to take off the white hairs, the black hairs. So, and then from there, we go to our number 3. So our number 4 is a mask.
Okay.
Yeah, so this mask is an exfoliator, but it's the same as mask. So we mask and then it exfoliates and also mask.
Okay, so let's explain to people what an exfoliator is, because a lot of people may not know.
So when you want to exfoliate the face, it helps take off the dead cells from the face. So when you cleanse, you don't just leave it like that. You have to exfoliate.
Okay.
So the exfoliate takes off the dead skin.
Okay.
Because when you're home, you won't get the time to pick out this, but the exfoliation helps to take off the dead cells from the face. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So let's start.
Okay.
Okay. Is our lady ready? Okay. Okay. Now another thing, so if we can't get the products that you use, what should people look out for in a good product to do their daily facial routine?
Okay, we have home remedy.
Okay.
So if you don't want to go by getting products, because some people react to even mild products, but the natural ones, you won't get any problem.
Okay.
So you get a milk.
Okay.
So you mix
the milk that we drink.
The milk that, or the evaporated one.
Okay.
It's okay than the ones in the tin.
Okay.
So they get evaporated ones. You mix them. That one will be your mask. So either that or you get a tomato.
Okay.
So tomato, you slide it and then you rub it on your face. So the seeds in it helps to exfoliate. So you just be rubbing it and then you massage it on the face.
Okay.
So it helps as an exfoliating agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you can start.
Okay.
So these are simple things that you can find at home.
Yeah, you can find at home.
Milk, evaporated milk.
Yeah, milk.
And then so you just cleanse with that.
Yeah. Yes,
you use cotton.
Yeah, you use cotton. You dab
finger?
it and then you just rub it on your face. Okay. And then you use your warm towel to take it off.
Okay.
And when you're done, you get your tomato. You scrub it with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what's she doing now?
So she's preparing the face. She's getting the face ready.
Okay.
Yes. So you can't just start applying product. You have to take off all the oils and stuff from the face before you start applying product on the face. So that's
so what does she use? Is it warm
just
water?
a warm towel. Yes.
Okay. So it's warm water, face towel.
Yes, please.
Okay. And then we're starting with the cleansing itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have a cleanser. We start with it. What about cleanser? So I know we spoke about evaporated milk and tomato.
Yeah.
But in terms of products, and you mentioned you spoke. I mean, I've had situations where I'll get a product, and then when I use it, my face is flaking. Even though my face is oily, all of a sudden it's dry and it becomes very strange. So what are some of the things that maybe if you're checking the label of the product you should look out for?
With the Christine has a mild facial cleanser, same as FC, and then Olay.
Okay.
So these 3 brands, I think I've used them for a while, so I know they're really mild on the face.
Okay.
Yeah. So Christine, FC, and then Olay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you should look out for brands that have
the mild
range of products.
Yes.
Okay.
And then so let's say if you get home and you want to take off your makeup, like you have a makeup on, so when you get home, you get your cream cleanser. So your cream cleanser, you apply it on your face and you massage it on the face. So when you massage it on the face, that's when you don't have the wipe, because you can wipe first before applying it. So but if you don't have the wipe, you can use the cleanser to rub your whole, and then when you are done, you can go with your scrub. Yeah.
So what she I see that cleanser on his face.
And then she's taking it
she
off.
wiped
yes.
it. Okay.
So when you put the cleanser, you have to use the warm water to take it off.
Okay.
So when you're home, using the towel, you can just pour the water on your face and then wash it off with the water. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what's the next step?
So this one is a toner.
A toner.
The toner takes off the cleanser and also dries the face for the next application.
The next application. So it's sort of like a barrier in between, or you have to cross the bridge before you get to the next step. See, is she applying it in a certain way? Because I see her doing what you call the T-zone, the nose, the cheeks.
You can't just apply it. It has to be in a circular motion. Okay. Yes. So you have to brush it out. Okay. So when doing application, always brush it out. Okay. So you brush
from the middle.
Yes, from the middle out. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why is that so? What does it do?
So, in doing that in circular motion, it helps like exfoliate. So when you're exfoliating, it goes like, when the blood for help of blood flow, when you are going the right way, it helps. And then also when it does, so let's say if you have acne here, you don't end up pushing the whole thing on the face, but you brush it out. Yes, so that you don't get the other face to also involve. Yes.
Okay, so are you saying that acne can spread?
Yeah, it can spread.
I never knew that.
It can.
Huh. So when you have acne, it's not good to touch.
Yeah, so that's why. Yes, so that's why when you have acne, you are not supposed to pump it from the home. You have to go to the professional to do it for you. Or when you are doing it, you make sure the hands are clean, and then wherever you touch, you wash your hand. You're not supposed to touch other places with it. Yeah.
Okay. So what are we doing?
These are exfoliating masks.
Okay.
So it's a mask, but it's also an exfoliator. So.
Okay. So what's a mask for those who are not sure what that is?
So mask is it's a product that we use to.
Not the one that we've been wearing for COVID-19.
No. It's a product. It helps get into the pores to help take off like open pores. It closes open pores and also takes off softens the acne or blemish or whiteheads to be able to extract them.
Okay. So is there a reason why she's applying it with a brush?
Yes. So what I was talking about, applying in the right position. So when you use the brush or you're using the finger of your tip, it has to be done in a circular motion.
Okay. So when she puts the mask on, does it have to stay on for some time?
Yeah, it has to stay for 10 minutes. Every product has, so if you're doing a home remedy, if you're using a clay mask, it can be 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, but every product has 30 minutes. So with this product, you have to wait for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yes. Okay. All right. So within that 10 minutes, what's happening underneath the skin?
So within that 10 minutes, as I said, it's exfoliating the skin. It's softening all the pores. It's treating, if it's acne, it's blemish, it's treating the acne blemish or the whiteheads.
Okay. Now, we don't have 10 minutes because we're on live TV, so I think we should continue the process.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then maybe our model can come over.
Come over for a treatment. Yes, he really needs a treatment.
So now she's gone back to the warm water.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she's wiping. But what's this? I see this.
This is a facial steamer.
Okay.
So with the facial steamer, it opens the pores so that it makes extraction easier.
Okay.
Because if you do extraction directly, it can it's a bit painful.
Okay.
So it softens the pores for you to be able to extract.
Okay. Okay. And I see that even though our studio is well lit, you still have your ring light here.
Yeah.
Does it help?
It helps you to see whatever. Let's say if it's acne that you want to extract, it helps you see where they are. Because our eyes are not too good to see every patches.
Very interesting. Okay, so we're cleaning the mask off.
Yes.
Okay, but if you're at home, are there masks that you can use at home?
Yes, if you're at home, there's masks. So if you have oily skin or you have open pores, you can use clay masks.
Okay.
The clay helps to extract and absorb oil from the face and also closes the pores.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's for people with oily skin.
Okay.
But if you have, let's say, people with anti-aging, people who are having wrinkles, and you can use dark potatoes or cucumber for the face.
Potatoes or cucumber. So how do you go about that?
So it's that you extract.
Okay.
You mash and then you extract and use the water apply on your face and wait for 20 minutes and then take it off. It also helps with dark circles, people with dark circles. Yes, so
those of us who don't sleep.
If you don't sleep, then there's a simple remedy. You just put a spoon in a fridge and then you just put it on your eye.
Oh.
Yeah, so we just take off the...
Thank you. I know a lot of people in this building who need that. So put a spoon.
A spoon in a freezer.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just take it off. When it's chilled, you just take it off and put it on the eye and then it will relax your face.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So what are we doing now?
So this is a mask.
Another mask?
Yeah, so this is a clay mask.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the difference between this one and
so the first one was exfoliating mask.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's exfoliating, it's taking off the dead cells.
Okay.
And then this is going into the pores to dry out the pores, to work on the oily skin type. So that's why you see she's concentrating more on the T-zone. Yes.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So ideally this would also stay for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. But we'll wipe it off.
Wipe it off, yes.
Of time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure a model. Okay. All right.
So we took up the exfoliating bit because of the time. So yes. So when he comes to the salon, we'll take care. We'll go through the process one by one.
Okay.
And then.
Okay. So how often should you be doing a facial?
So
at least professionally.
Yeah. If you have a normal skin with no acne, no blemish, no flakes, you can do it once every 1 month, 1.5 months.
Okay.
But if you have problem like acne, blemish, you can do it 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
And then at home, what should you be doing? If you don't do anything at all, what should you be doing every day?
So at home, you get your kits. So your facial kits, the most important ones are the cleanser, the scrub, and then the lotion. Yes. So if you have this, you just cleanse, you scrub, and then you moisturize.
Okay.
So people with oily skin, as I said, should get a clay mask.
Okay.
Yes, to help close the pores. Yes.
Okay. Sounds brilliant. Hannah Ifia Dankwa, thank you very much. She's the salon director at the Boone Unisex Salon, and I mean, we've understood why it's important to do a facial and to take care of your skin. If you want to keep looking nice when you get to middle age like David, then you should be doing this at home. Our entertainment highlights are up next. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Atukwamina. AS Ghanaian music producer JQ accused Nigerian music producer and artist Sele Bobo for using his work without permission. According to JQ, Sele Bobo used the horn melodies he played in VIP's Ahunka Wom for his song Take. He told Citi News in an exclusive interview that his publishers in South Africa have already reached out to Sele Bobo. He added that Sele Bobo and his team have been asked to either pull the song down on all online platforms or agree to share proceeds of the song with JQ. Apart from VIP, he has also worked with great Ghanaian musicians Castro, Miss Bell, Obrafo, Daddy Lumba, Nana Ichampon, Oforian Ponsa, Akosie Japon, among others. Mr. Easy's girlfriend receives brand new Ferrari from billionaire father. Nigerian billionaire businessman Femi Otedola recently served serious daddy goals with his recent move for his 3 daughters. The billionaire, who is no doubt a doting father, recently went shopping for his daughters and splurged millions of nairas on fast cars for them. One of his daughters posted on Twitter indicating that her dad bought them cars for her herself and her siblings Temi and Tolani. Rapper Cardi B has filed for divorce for her husband Offset, who she has been married to for the past 3 years. Cardi B married the Migos singer Offset in a secret ceremony in September 2017. The 27-year-old singer made the filing on Tuesday in Atlanta, in Georgia. Cardi B is asking for primary physical custody of their daughter while asking that Offset contributes to her support and maintenance. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Atukwamina.
All right. We were just talking a little bit about Cardi B and her soon-to-be ex.
I don't understand all that business.
No, I don't either. I don't either. Anyway, it's been a beautiful morning, and we're very glad that you've stayed with us throughout. And I mean, we'll be back tomorrow for the Friday edition of the show.
Be a blast. Be a blast.
But a few things for you to remember. Today is Thursday.
Yes.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Keyboard Idol. Vote, vote, vote.
Yep.
So that when it's 5 p.m. we close the polls, nobody says, my favorite contestant went home. I told you I don't want to hear that. So please vote. And then, of course...
talking about voting, we have Voters Diary this afternoon on radio, 97.3 Citi FM. It's at 1 p.m. with Abna.
Yes.
Ampidu.
That's right.
Yep. And then at 3 p.m. it's on Citi TV with Vivian Kylo.
Her local ship. And of course, Best Brain, I did say season 1 is back on your screens. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., Saturdays at 3 p.m. Let your kids sit down, watch the quiz, pick up some interesting things while they're at home, and stay educated is very important. And then there's Class Act at 5:30 p.m. today and tomorrow, Monday to Friday, every week as well.
And if you missed any of the segments of our show, you know where to go. It's Citi 2 on YouTube, and that's our channel. And go and subscribe. Click the notification button. Make sure that you'll receive all the updates every time we upload a new video. And like, comment, and share with your friends.
Precisely so. Do stay tuned to Citi TV, not just on the station, but on DSTV channel 363, GoTV channel 182. Catch all our amazing content, and do stay with us.
Yeah. We'll keep watching Citi TV. So we'll see you same time tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. sharp. Take care.
Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.